Let's learn how to use how to use Python IDE, that is Pycharm, effectively for writing programs in Python. In fact, you don't need IDE to write programs. You just need a notepad. Any ASCII editor is enough. That is notepad or command line editor. Vim is enough to write a program and execute. If you're writing any program, what do you need here? For suppose if I take Vim hello world, hello w.py, print hello world. Okay, so in this process, what I have done, I used one editor, which is Vim. I used the interpreter to execute this. So in this process of writing a program, you need different tools that are editor, interpreter, which is here it is interpreter. When it comes to other programming languages, you need a compiler, interpreter. Okay, those you need a build tools. You need a tool chain or tool set to build the written program. Another one is you need a debugger. Debugger is when you want to debug a program. Means that you can while you're executing a program, you can pass the execution. By passing the execution, you can check what is going on, what is the current status or a snapshot in the memory. You can access variables and you can evaluate expressions at runtime. So these different tools without IDE, you have to use independently, separately. Just like I used Vim and I used interpreter to execute that after writing a program. But check if I use Vim, simple ASCII editors, I don't have any syntax highlight. So if I go and write something, okay, if n by 2 equal to 0, print. Okay, so is it a proper program? Is it why? What is an error? Yeah, n value is not there. Another one is indentation, you see. Okay, so see, I don't know that yet, you know, by mistake it is, imagine this is 100 lines of program and you haven't noticed this single space. Okay, to make it even clear, you know, you have some space, you haven't noticed that. Okay, and you haven't noticed here you know, closing quotes. Okay, so this it is not quite helpful when you write simple ASCII editor. You can write the program, but you know, if there are errors, you need to wait until you execute it. You know, that is a lot of time and effort, waste of time and effort. No, it would be great if you are able to identify that error while you are actually coding. Okay, so these things are not available in normal tools like a notepad, right? ASCII editor. So that is where IDE comes into picture. IDE is used. IDE stands for integrated development environment. Integrated. Why it is called integrated? It integrates all different tools together for a developer to write a program effectively. Write, compile, uh, even some IDEs provide a way to distribute that effectively. Okay, so IDE basically combines different tools. Three essential tools it combines: editor, another one is compiler or interpreter, okay, which is you know, execution environment, runtime environment. Another thing is debugger. Okay, these three things are put together by the IDE such that we developer will have one place to go to get it done, you know. So usually what happens, I have to switch. If I'm using notepad here, think of it as notepad or some editor. I need to code that and I need to save it and need to go back to terminal and execute that. Do you understand? But IDE provides a way to use all those tools together, and they are provided in single uh, available at single place. That is IDE. That is the reason it is called integrated. It integrates the different tools and provides a way to develop programs better. So it is called such that it is called integrated development environment. So best IDE, there are different IDEs available out there for Python. Okay, VS Code. VS Code is there. Okay, and see, VS Code is lightweight. You have to use the extension for Python. And there is actually another popular interpreter is Pycharm. It is available in two versions, which is community and professional. Okay. There are other IDEs also. There's a Komodo IDE for Python. Okay, these are dedicated for Python. Got it? So just give me a moment. Here, look at yeah. See, these are all different IDs. Dedicated for some are dedicated for Python. Some support Python through add-ons or extensions. Komodo, NetBeans, PyCharm, okay, PyDev, KDevelop, PyScript. So this is ideally is what you will get on Windows, Mac OS, along with the Python installation. And so you see this integrated debugger. Some IDs have a these IDs combine basically three essential components together, which is editor and compiler or interpreter. Okay, here it is, which is runtime environment, and another one is debugger. Okay, which is for troubleshooting, and it provides more. It integrates more than these tools, but these are essential that IDEs come up with, and more effectively, creatively, what IDEs do, what other things IDEs do, they provide the tab completion suggestions, and they do the formatting for us. They suggest the best approaches, and they follow the standards like PEP8, and finally they do the syntax highlighting such that we can effectively see, unlike here everything is black and white for me. Okay, so here everything is black and white, and we can see syntax highlighting, so we can effectively see if there are any errors. So this is what Pycharm. So here is the Pycharm, which is Python IDE. Let's go, and you can download. There are two versions, so you can choose the appropriate operating system for you and download the community. But because community edition and professional edition, the difference is there are few features that are not available in community that professional comes with, but community edition is more than enough for any developer to use. So download this community edition for your operating system. If you are using Windows, download the Windows. Select the operating system here. It is available on 3 major platforms: Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. Okay, on Mac OS, it is available as available for Apple Silicon as well. Okay, I have integrated development environment installed already. So let me open that Pycharm. Here is the Pycharm. So I just installed this one. Okay. So I'm running this first time, so that asking me to for the license agreement, continue. And you can choose to send or don't send anonymous statistics. And here you go. Okay. So let's open the first project. Let's open our first project, which is you can create a project to open. So I don't have, let's create a new project. And while you are creating a new project, you know, the out of the box Python, this IDEs offer essentially like where, like I said, editor, runtime environment, and debugger for troubleshooting. It offers more than that, like tab completion suggestions, ways to format refactor codes, and provide ways to work with different libraries and tool chains seamlessly and effectively. So here, uh, here I'm selecting, you have to select, if you have multiple interpreters in your system, you can choose the particular one. So here I selected the Python 3, and where it is getting created, Pycharm projects, here near Twitter, Pycharm projects. Okay, so let's create on Py first. Okay, I'm creating this one and create. And here you go. You have the ID. Okay, so this is what pretty much looks like. So let's go and explore this ID. Okay, so is it overwhelming here? So what do you see here? Left side, you have a side, the project sidebar. Here, give me a moment. I can go to view preferences. I can increase font size if you can't see it. You can go to preferences, Python preferences, and there you can actually lot of preferences by that Pycharm provides, so that we can customize the IDE. So I'm searching here font. So here you see, and here I have the size. Okay, I used. Is it okay? Or should I increase? Probably 16. 18, is 18 okay? I'm using here. Okay, okay. I can see this. And here you see, can you see here? You have a sidebar where you can actually check this. You can select this context. You know how you want to see. You can simply want to see files or a search console or a project. So if you select the project context here, the files are grouped according to, you know, the libraries, and they grouped accordingly. And if you want to see just the project files, you don't see anything, and you will see the directory tree, how it is exactly on the disk. Okay, so if you select this project one, it will give you other external libraries, other things as well that are related to project. And you see this one, for this whole project, it created the main.py also for me. Okay, so, and provided, gave me some placeholder code. Okay, so created a function and calling this one. And how do you execute this one? First explore this IDE, the basic things. Can you see here syntax highlighting? Okay, and it is quite easy. If I actually remove this one, now you see this one, how it is, it highlighted this whole line that there is an error while I'm coding. So this, because it IDE recognized that there is no open quotes, so recognize that it is an error, so that I don't have to wait until I execute. Okay, now it is quite good. So now what do you see? You have file menu here. So file, edit, and view. So file menu contains, you know, operations related to save, open, import, export, print. And edit contains different edit, select, okay, toggle lines, duplicate. The things are whatever you see in file and edit in other applications, mostly we'll see here. Other extra options are there. View is again, if you want to see any of these windows or anything, you can toggle those their visibility here from view and appearance. You can see here there is no toolbar. I can click the toolbar, okay, and can you see the toolbar appeared above view, and it is gone. Okay, so those things are here there. And navigate, it is navigation through code and different files. And important things are code refactor. You different menus are there that is related to coding. When you code, you use this analyze code. You see silent code cleanup, so it will clean up the code that is not used and make it effective. And refactor does lot of refactoring, and it actually beautifies the code and refactors according to standards. Okay, and there is a run here. Run menu is like I told you, runtime. IDEs provide a runtime, right? Like so three things they essentially provide, which is editor. Another thing is compiler or interpreter, you know, tools to build a program. So you have a runtime. It has tools that are used to run a program or debug program. Debugger, another thing, it provides debugger. You know, different, again, tools is having different menus to, you know, up to some extent you can also push this code or publish. Okay, and you have a VCS here. This is your VCS version control system that IDEs also come up with, where if you want to version control your program, you have to go to the terminal, and you have to use the git commands if you are using GitHub version control system, and you need to commit all those things. You can do right in the IDE here. It is providing options. Now when it comes to the bottom, you see different menus here to do any program. You know, in a program you can write, if while you are coding, you think you don't have a time and resources to do that particular task now, and you wanted to do that later, you can give the comment to do. Okay, so here improve function to do. Okay, so this is comment, you know, this one is ignored by Python interpreter, right? Do you understand? When you start a comment with, when you start any line with a hash, okay, now you see here it found one to do, which is, can you see here, main file improve functions. So in a project would contain millions of lines, thousands of lines, and hundreds, tens and hundreds of files. In those files, you can plan to do, some developer, if not you, someone else who is working on the project can leave those some to-dos, where actually you can write in the IDE. You can check where to-dos are, and you can go there and you can improve, if that is actually, if you have resources at that moment too. And you have problems, you know, you see this, there are problems it detected, you know. So for suppose, according to, there are Pepite standard in Python. This is called Pepite Okay, the Puppet is actually followed by the community, Python community, Puppet standard. Okay, what this Puppet standard tells, the best way, the best approaches, best you know, habits or uh, uh, guidelines to write a program in a better manner that looks pretty. Okay, so these are called best practices. Okay, so if you don't follow Puppet, it doesn't mean that your program will execute. Your program will not execute. Okay, because your program, you will be able to execute your program and complete the job. But thing is that these best practices are followed so that we can write the clean code. Okay, not messed up code. So for suppose you see some examples here mentioned. Let me show you. So this whole Puppet standard describes how to comment properly, how much spaces we should give, and how to, when passing arguments, where to put the arguments. You see, for suppose here, this Puppet standard provides guidelines. Here, correct, wrong. Can you see here? It gives us a correct is, provide some spaces around so that it looks clean. But here it looks clumsy. Okay, so here you see this wrong. When you're passing arguments, don't give spaces around for the arguments, but giving them is not recommended. But do you see here, both are, for Python interpreter, both are same. Okay, these things actually, if you wanted to write a clean code in a companies, there would be, in some companies there would be a routine thing, that is a you know they review the code, your code for there would be a code review routines. And so of course you want your logic, maybe the logic you have chosen to complete the task might have been outstanding, but a clean code, writing a clean code is also essential to be able to read it properly. So but this Puppet standard, reading all these standards and remembering that and using, sometimes, manually going there and correcting is actually time consuming, cumbersome. So what Python IDEs offer, they offer a way to write code according to the Puppet standards intuitively. For suppose you see here green line, this yellow line, which means that red and underline means error. Green underline means which is not an error but is a warning. Can you see here when I hover, you see here some suggestion, Puppet too many blank lines. So according to Puppet, so if I gave too many blank lines, it doesn't look clean. You see here. Okay, and let me write which is not according to the Puppet. Okay, I'm giving, these are all actually, I'm writing a code which doesn't look. Okay, now you see here lot of problems you see according to the Puppet. So what you can do here with you can go to Refactor. Okay, so code, and there is a format code or a format file. Click that one and whole file, run. What happened? You see? Yeah, and reformatted whole file according to the Puppet standards. Now you don't see any problems. Can you see here difference? You see this is before, right? This is after. So that you see, you intuitively out of the box, when you are using IDE, good IDE, you will write a better code. Not according to the logic, but according to standards and best practices. Okay. And so you have terminal right here. You have terminal. Can you see here? So you can do all those things. cd space. Okay. The terminal here, you would get a command prompt if it is on Windows, and if it is a Linux or Mac, it would be the terminal. So okay, so that thing you would open if you go to the start menu, and if you type command or Windows or run, the same thing is available here. You can run all those commands right here in the IDE. Another thing here, Python packages. It provides what packages you are using, and you see right here you have a Python interpreter right in the IDE. You don't have to go outside. See, if we are using Notepad and you have to go to separate, you have to open the interpreter separately, right? You wanted to check something. And in fact, you can open, if you go to terminal, you can open multiple terminals also here. And you have the Python console. And when it at the bottom, you can see here the what new line you are using, what Unicode that is being used by IDE, and when it comes to tab, how many spaces you are using, what Python interpreter you are using. And event log actually what shows anything that is being run, any process that is running in background or any events here. But you don't need to bother about this. So this is what the IDE. So now how to run this program? Just go on, run this one. You can click this one, or right click, run main. And you see here, right here, run menu is there. Run menu. Okay, there you can see the output. Can you see? Okay. And if you want to debug, what you can do, right click and debug. We haven't placed any breakpoints now, but you can debug. See, in debug menu, you can see. These are these tabs are here. They are populating here according to the context. Okay. So you have run menu, and if you want to run it again from the run tab, you can click on run again to run that. And you have the structure. The structure is very simple. It shows the functions and variables here, right here. You can navigate through the structure of the file. Here you can see different files. Okay. And you can do a lot of things here. And what you can do, the things are, for suppose here, I'm comparing this n equal to 5. Let me give you one simple thing. Okay. N equal to 5. If I wanted to print n greater than n less than 5, and okay, this is operator. Okay, these are called logical operators. Okay, and n greater than 0. Okay, print n within the range 0 and 5. Okay, so if I run this thing, you don't have to save in IDE Pycharm. Okay, you don't need to bother to save. So as you actually write the code, it saves that on disk. And if I run this one, right click, run. Okay, see, let's use the 4. Okay, because we use the less than greater than, not less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. Can you see here, n within the range 0 and 5. Okay, but there is a better way to write this code. You see here, when you hover this on any warning, you would see one IDE icon, bulb icon. Okay, you can click on that one. Yeah, this is it gives you some suggestion. And also one more thing, the best thing you can see, best thing is you can also get the documentation. Okay, so for suppose here, can you see here, simplified chain comparison? This is a suggestion it is giving. Okay, so anyway, and documentation, we can also get the documentation without going online. So if I hover this thing, this light, the yellow bulb icon, which is kind of suggestion for us. And if you click on this one, you will see different suggestions. Okay. And you see the simplify chain comparison. If I go here, you see what happened. Can you see difference? Okay. This is also correct. And this one is also correct. Okay. But this is even simplified. You don't have to. So those kind of suggestions it provides you. Okay. If I go here, you see according to, you see this icon, and you click on this one, you will see here ignore like this, or go here, click on that one, formatted that. So that way it gives you suggestions and different ways to write code properly according to the best practices.